The commandment of God which says, "Honor your father and your mother, as Jehovah your God has commanded you, so that your days may be prolonged, and so that it will go well for you in the land that Jehovah your God gives you," does not refer to biological parents, but to the only spiritual father and mother, Melchizedek Lisbet. Also, this commandment was not given for all men in the world, but only for those to whom God has revealed themselves as what they are, father and mother, and have brought them to the promised land where you learn from the hand of God to conquer death and live in God's eternity. When have you ever heard someone say that their days have been lengthened because they honored their biological parents? That's unheard of. And if God has promised it, then it is not your biological parents whom God says you must honor to have long life. It is obvious that God is referring to themselves, to the spiritual parents who give you their land, which is where the length of days or eternity of God is found. Those parents are spiritual, and they are the promised land because God says that it will go well for you in the land that Jehovah your God gives you. It doesn't refer to planet Earth. That is not the land that God has promised. It is the land where milk and honey flow, which is the most beautiful of all lands, because she is the wife of God the Father. That is why he says about her, "O wife, your lips distill honey like a honeycomb, and milk is under your tongue, and the aroma of your garments are as the scent of Lebanon." And if you don't honor God the Father and Mother, Melchizedek Lisbet, as they command you to, you are discarding God's decrees and are not walking in God's statutes. You have desecrated the Sabbath day of the Lord and the Lady by following the idols of your evil heart. You have renounced to God's only promise of eternal life. To honor means to perform or manifest proof of respect, admiration, and esteem toward a person publicly. God says, "My child, keep the commandment of your father and do not depart from the teaching of your mother. Always tie them in your heart. Link them to your neck, and your spiritual parents will guide you when you walk. When you sleep, they will protect you. They will talk to you when you wake up, because the commandment of God the Father is a lamp, and the teaching of Christ, God the Mother, is a light, and the reprimands that instruct you are the way of life." But what if one or both of your biological parents have been abusive? Or what if you never met your biological parents? Does that mean you are excluded from God's promise? God is just, and that wouldn't be fair. Just as it wouldn't be fair to women if the circumcision that God demands of their people were a physical one. If your parents never respected you and mistreated you, do you think that the true God would command you to respect them or admire them and have them in high esteem? Of course not. God knows that if this first and great commandment were physical, no mortal man could fulfill it to the T because of many reasons and circumstances. For this reason, it could never refer to biological parents, because if that were so, not everyone could benefit from fulfilling this commandment, which is the first one that God gives to their people. And God promises that if you fulfill it, you will be given length of days, which is God's eternity. Only one who has been born